We get set for the third quarter from Ford Field in Detroit. Follow your favorite team all season long. Tunes.com/NFL. Bears will get the ball first, leading by 10. Lions scored a late touchdown. Jay Cutler and the Bears have been able to capitalize on 3 Detroit turnovers. They've scored 13 points off those turnovers, only 2 receptions for 23 yards for Calvin Johnson.
I mean, the difference in this football game are the turnovers, and Chicago taking advantage of that and getting some points. Charles Tillman, outstanding against Calvin Johnson in the first half, but another half to go. You got to finish the game. He's too explosive, but you know, we talked about a couple of things for Chicago to do at the top. One of them was Charles Tillman. He's lived up to that billing, but the Jay Cutler, Brandon Marshall combination, completely out of sync this afternoon, but the other guys around have stepped up. They talked about the big play by Earl Bennett. Alshon Jeffrey with a big catch to start the game.
Hansen kicks it off. Hester hesitates, now takes it out. And he'll be tackled inside the 5 by Kassim Osgood. What a play.
Well, that's just a player who's a little bit frustrated, you know, trying to force something. And Devin Hester needed to stay in on this one. He was very indecisive at the beginning, and when you do that, nothing good is going to happen. Kassim Osgood, it's a battle within the battle. You've got the best returner, maybe in the history of the NFL, against one of the best cover guys in the game right now, and Kassim Osgood is winning that battle against Devin Hester.
Yeah, once you hesitate like Devin Hester did right there, you just got to take a knee, get on the 20, give your offense at least an opportunity.
Hester, as we mentioned, no return touchdowns this season. Final regular season game. Bears need a win to stay alive. Cutler to the outside on first down, and the catch is made by Jeffrey out of the 13-yard line for a gain of 8. Bears started the game with Cutler hitting Jeffrey on a 55-yard pass play, and then Cutler with a 60-yard touchdown pass to Earl Bennett. Cutler 8 of 15 first half. Bears lead by 10. Second down and 2. Cutler with time. He throws it. It's Jeffrey again for a Chicago first down.
Yeah, I talked to Jim Schwartz going in, and you know, he talked about the turnovers like Darryl talked about, but the one thing he was happy about was his defense and the way that they're keeping him in this game. You know, the turnovers are huge, but the defense is, you know, not giving up those 7 points, or else, you know, they would have been out of this game. I think they've kept them in the game with only giving up 3, so we'll see what happens here in the second half.
That's right, Goose. They held Chicago to field goals following 2 of the turnovers, and when you look at the average field position from a Lions standpoint, could have been a lot worse. Taken out to the 29-yard line by Forte. And we also heard the guys in the studio talking about some of the fourth quarter exploits of Matthew Stafford through the touchdown pass right at the end of the second quarter, so this game's not over.
Yeah, I thought that Howie Long made a great point. And when you've got Calvin Johnson outside and you've got an aggressive quarterback like Matthew Stafford, he's not going to take you know, his foot off the gas. He's going to keep pressing that ball down the field, even though there's been some mistakes in the first half. In Chicago, this is what they do. You know, offensively, it's nothing flashy. They were happy with how they played last week against Arizona. A lot of offenses would be frustrated with how they played against Arizona last week. But their approach is, we ran the ball effectively. We didn't make any major mistakes. We didn't turn the ball over, put our defense in a bad spot. You know, I think for them to get to the next level, like Jimmy Johnson said, you know, if they get into the playoffs, what are they really going to do? If they're going to make any noise in the playoff, this offense has to become more aggressive. I agree with them. If they continuing to play this way, the defense is too good. They will take it away.
Cutler on first down, steps up and takes off. Cutler picks up a first down, out of bounds. Up at the 46-yard line, he gains 12.
I think he's underrated as a quarterback on the move. We've seen a couple of times his great pocket feel as he slides and steps up And this one, just a really nice, quick decision right here when he sees that there's a lot of open space out there. Just pull it down and get as much as you can.
I think his offensive line is doing a good job too today, Darryl. You know, opening up, sliding, making big openings for him to go and look downfield and slide around. So you know, something that was a big question mark going into this game.
From the 46 on first down, it's Forte. Tries to cut it back towards the inside, and he gets wrapped up by Don Carey. Loss of 2 on the play. We talked to Lovie Smith yesterday and asked him about the plan if the Bears do in fact win this game. Will you stick around and watch the Packers and the Vikings? He said, nope, we'll head to the airport as we usually do, take off for Chicago and find out the score from the pilot. They don't have television on the plane, no internet access. They will get updates, and they'll be rooting for the Green Bay Packers. First, the Bears must win this game. They set up the screen, and a nice tackle made on Forte by Stephen Tulloch.
Great awareness by Stephen Tulloch. The offensive line does a nice job of setting the screen up right over the middle. Tulloch keeps his eyes. Open field tackle right here on Forte. Down low, not tackling high like we've seen over the last couple weeks with a lot of defenses. Takes his legs out, and that's exactly how you're supposed to wrap it up. Fundamentals, huh, Darryl? Breath of
Actually tackled through the guy instead of to the guy.
textbook.
Now third down and 10. Bears must get to the Lions 44. Cutler moving to his right. He throws too far for Jeffrey. And then some extracurricular activity.
Part of that may be just trying to get Jay Cutler rattled a little bit, get him off of his game. But you know, Alshon Jeffrey right here again. We kind of gearing down. Don Carey's got to be careful. The way the game is changing right now, you don't want to play good defense and then have a penalty, give the opposition the first down.
Adam Podlish waiting back at his 33-yard line. Mike Thomas deep for the Lions. Thomas lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone. So the Lions will start at the 20, trailing by 10. Cutler surrounded by Lions.
Welcome to ESPN Player, your source for live and on-demand college sports. It's your sports, your teams, your rules. All live, all on demand, and all from $9.99. Sign up to ESPN Player now.
I heard you calling from the start. A river runs through both our hearts. 1,000 shades of something new. I cannot wait to play for you. Land of dreams, land of dreams. Come and find your land of dreams.
Arian, he's just eccentric.
Very open-minded.
I guess you can say different.
He wants to talk politics.
He's a Republican. He's a Democrat. Never talk about the political differences.
Aaron's a very unique guy, deep thinker.
Right now I'm learning about quantum physics.
No one can talk him out of it.
Why wouldn't you want to learn about quantum physics? I mean, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, you're looking at me like a nerd or crazy. But it's pretty interesting stuff.
What a day! Look at this!
Championship play right here, fellas.
It's football, baby. Let's make a play.
Takes the shotgun snap, throws it toward the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown! Good night. Good night to all.
Is at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn. We had a great visit yesterday.
Awesome.
Stafford rolling right on first down. As we welcome a new audience, Matthew Stafford picking up 5 On first down, we are early third quarter. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa in Detroit. Chicago Bears need a win to stay alive. Bears must win and then root for the Green Bay Packers to defeat the Minnesota Vikings. A Bears win would also knock out the New York Giants, who lead Philadelphia 35-7. On 2nd and 5, this is Michael LaShore, and he picks up a Lions first down out to the 34.
And he's been running like that all afternoon. Again, I like the way he finishes his runs. He's very physical.
Yeah, as soon as he finds that little space up front, he goes and hits it vertical, squared shoulders, lowers his shoulder a little bit, gets as much yardage as he possibly can. It's a nice hit right there at the end. And securing the ball.
Sure, running well. It's been a quiet day for Calvin Johnson in pursuit of 2,000 receiving yards. He'll be the first to do it in league history. This is LaShore once again. And LaShore has another Lions first down out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 13, and he comes up hobbling.
And not just Calvin Johnson today, but Brandon Marshall on the other side, the Chicago Bears, a big part of their offense as well. And look at the job that both of these defenses have done. Calvin Johnson, now that's a lot of Charles Tillman. He's kind of pulling him in that situation in a lot of one-on-ones.
Yeah, but Calvin Johnson did have some opportunities. The ball right in his hands, did drop 3 of them.
Yeah, good point, Tony. He's had some big drops today.
Stafford fires on first down. It's Johnson. His 3rd reception. It's a first down, a gain of 18.
And this is one of the things that Charles Tillman told us he would have to do. He never wants to allow Calvin Johnson to get beyond him, even with help over the top, because he's so long. A little slip there coming out of the break, but you can see major rights there. He has help over the top, but he said Calvin is just so athletic and he's got such a great wingspan that if he's even with you, he's got you beat. So we've seen Charles Tillman keep him in front of him all afternoon.
Calvin Johnson now 67 yards away from 2,000. Vance Briggs unable to bring down Joy Bell. Bell takes it to the 34-yard line. Gain of just 1. Midway through the 3rd quarter here in Detroit. Lions, a playoff team season ago. Just 4 wins this year. They've lost 7 straight. Bears, who started 7-1. Darryl, you mentioned it in the open. Team that starts the season 7-1 has not missed the playoffs since the Redskins back in '96.
Coming over there.
Second down at 9. As Stafford throws to a wide open Johnson. It's another Lions first down at the Chicago 10-yard line. 24-yard pass play.
Yeah, a lot of times you wait for the opportunities to be one-on-one in coverage, but today it looks like Calvin Johnson's looking for the opportunities to catch zone because Charles Tillman has played so well against him. That's a well-thrown ball by Matthew Stafford.
Johnson now 43 yards away. Cannot do it on this drive. First trip into the red zone for the Detroit Lions today. Thomas motions into the backfield. And then Stafford's pass incomplete. He was looking for Thomas.
I don't like that type of play call in this situation. You've gotten into the red zone. You know, you finished your first half with a scoring drive. Here you are to start the second half, an opportunity to get another scoring drive. Just stay to what you do well. And that play never really looked good from the get-go.
Yeah, I think his timing was off on his motion across because he was way too close to throw that pass.
Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinators for the Lions, right, might have been overthinking that one a little bit.
Watch it, Gus. Second and goal from the 10. Stafford throws, and it's broken up. Intended for Johnson. Charles Tillman, again, does a terrific job for the Bears.
It's been fun to watch all day long.
It's been awesome.
I mean, again, understanding where you are on the field, you're in the red zone. you're on the outside, you're split wide as a receiver. So what routes can come out of that? And Charles Tillman has done a really nice job pre-snap processing everything. And the officials have let these guys play. I think they're enjoying the battle outside too, because it's been physical on the outside between Calvin Johnson and Charles Tillman.
Now 3rd and goal. 3 wide receivers set. Stafford fires. End zone. It's Will Heller for a Lions touchdown.
Will Heller coming out of your tight end spot. This is a good job. The underneath route, he has the back coming out of the backfield, draws up the linebacker, and opens up Will Heller at that intermediate level.
Only thing he has to work on in that play is the dance afterwards. He did a lot of time to set it up.
Well, Goose, he hasn't had a chance to do it since the 2010 season, his first touchdown in 2 years.
A little rusty on the dance.
Hansen, the extra point. Lions pull to within 3. What would you call this, Goose?
I don't know. It's sort of a
broken sprinkler, Goose. It's a broken sprinkler.
With only 4. Sanders turned around to defender, and he's going to score. Touchdown.
Can't do a replay on this because you just have to watch it, folks. This is a work of art. It's instinct. It's a desire to get in the end zone.
Look at Pete with his hands up. He knows it's going to be a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. It's vintage Barry Sanders.
Sanders grabbed in the backfield and dropped. No signal. He's still on his feet as Talley misses him. 1-yard runs and the best runs for losses in NFL history to watch at. He's got a highlight film. Did you see his knee hit the ground?
Not
it
at
all. No, it's here. Very red.
I don't know why. People call him the Red Rifle.
The Red Rifle hooks up with A.J. Green.
It's red, man, but yeah, there's nothing he can do about that.
I would say a darker orange than it would be red.
And he got some weird hair, you know, he's just red, but it's not like bright red, it's like a burnt orange.
Orange does look good.
You know what I think about Andy Dalton hair? It is so pretty. It is so pretty.
The Red Rifle.
It was made for Cincinnati because his hair color it almost matched our orange.
It looks good on him. It fits his personality.
It do look funny.
It shows fire, his passion.
It's a nice little clean cut fade.
All this would be like white and pale, and then everything else would just be red.
There's Will Heller thinking about his next touchdown celebration. 9-play, 80-yard drive. So the Lions score a touchdown on their last drive of the first half and their opening drive of the second half to pull to within 3.
This is a huge series for the Chicago offense. You know, we've talked about it all season long. They've been opportunistic. They got 13 points off turnovers in the first half, but as Tony mentioned, you know, Jim Schwartz said, you know, that kept us in the game. Our defense not allowing touchdowns. So as they come onto the field right now, this Chicago offense has to get points, in my opinion.
Their lead cut to just 3.
College Game Day all season on ESPN America.
Yeah, they're pros, but they're people.
It says here that New England's pretty good. Any questions?
And this rivalry gets real personal.
You take a swipe at one of ours, we'll take a swipe at 2 of yours.
Seriously, is anything else?
No love lost? Forget that.
I'm not here to kiss the ring. We're going to play.
Should be interesting.
There was never any love in the first place.
Celebration begins. He hit it again. It's absolutely astonishing.
I born in New Jersey, in Patterson, but I went to Puerto Rico a year old. But I have family there and New York and New Jersey. I had a lot of struggle. I was up and down. When 07 I went to AA. I was almost out of the game, but I always work hard. I know it's gonna be tough, but you know I'm gonna continue to work hard. And thanks God, you know we won the World Series in 2010. That was a bless.
For the first time since 1954, the Giants are world champions.
Right now, this year, I'm excited to be here in New York. My dad is a big Mets fan, always been, you know, and I'm excited just to play with them and show my dad that, you know, he's gonna be proud of me. And I think that's something special.
Three-point game in Detroit. Bears led by 17 late in the second quarter. Lions have come back with a pair of touchdowns. Chicago in need of a win today to stay alive as Forte finds a big hole and has a Bears first down. Tyrell Johnson made the tackle, a gain of 12. The NFC playoff picture. Bears need a win and a Vikings loss. As far as the Giants are concerned, they lead Philadelphia 35-7, but if the Bears win, the Giants are done.
We've got some big games coming up in the later part of the day, too. The San Francisco and the Seattle games when they play. Obviously, the one that the Bears are interested in, that Green Bay-Minnesota game.
Green Bay will earn the 2 seed and a bye with a win. This is Marshall, only a second catch. They took one away at halftime, changed it to a run. So Marshall now with 2 receptions. Call Star NFL to download NFL Mobile for only $5 all month long. Second down and 7. On second down, the quick out to Bennett. And Bennett takes it up to the 46-yard line, gain of 6. So a big third down and 1 upcoming for Chicago.
We talked about how important this series was for the Chicago offense as they came onto the field. This is a conversion you've got to keep these drives alive. Mike Tice has got to find out something that has been working during the course of the day, or Jay Cutler has a lot of confidences on this snap.
Gabe Carimi in as an extra blocker. On third and 1 is Forte, and he will not get there. Lawrence Jackson with the penetration for the Lions.
Actually, Khalil Belkenny, he was the short yardage guy in the first half and made a nice run, very decisive in his run. This time, it's just penetration by that Detroit Lion front.
Or you bring Karimi in and you're telegraphing exactly what you're going to do. Those guys up front do a great job of holding up that whole Bears offensive line. There's no push at all, and there's nowhere to go.
Big play by Jackson, forcing the punt. With Thomas back deep for the Lions. Oh, terrific play by Eric Weems on special teams.
Somebody makes him mad, he's gonna put every ounce of man muscle on the back of your frame.
As a coach, you can't tolerate this behavior.
But I know what I did, and the man upstairs knows what I did. A little immature as a football team. I heard that we were one-trick ponies. Well, if we are one-trick ponies, that's one hell of a trick.
The part of him that says, you know what, I could be like the villain.
Not a good idea to make you mad.
Celebration begins. It's absolutely astonishing.
See ya! A long home run North of Adam Robinson Cano.
I had a name because of Jackie, my dad. He admired Jackie Robinson, the way he came up to the big leagues, all the situation he went through, and then he told my mom, I want to put my son that name. She didn't want that name. He ended up convincing my mom, and but I would say it's a good thing, you know. He was a second base, I'm a second base. He wore 42, I wore 24. I mean, there's a lot of things like, you know, I like to help people. He do the same thing, and I mean, it's really weird. So for me, it's more than an honor to got his name. He was the one that opened the doors for us. How good is the game now? You got people from all over the world.
Back-to-back touchdown drives by the Detroit Lions offense.
That's impressive, and that's the point that Howie made at halftime. You know, they're with Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford out there, and Mikel LeSure is running very, very hard today. There's some explosive components out there in this offense. You cannot go to sleep on the Lions.
Worst starting field position of the day for Detroit as LeSure takes it out to the 12-yard line for a gain of 4. This field position set up by the Eric Weems play on special teams.
One of those things that goes unrecognized during the course of the game, but we look at starting field position a lot, and Eric Weems, that open field tackle, you know, that's a huge part.
You got Riley Reef in there, offensive tackle as an extra blocker. Top of your screen right there.
First round pick out of Iowa. Riley Reef. Now second down and 6. And LeSure unable to take the handoff from Stafford, and it's recovered by Major Wright. The 4th Lions turnover.
I thought it was going to bounce back to Mikel LeSure. It looked as though he was going to have an opportunity to recover that. But again, it's that culture of hustle that Rod Marinelli promotes. It's a bad QB handoff exchange. He's got his inside arm up, which is incorrect for all you young guys out there. It hits him in the chest, which makes it more difficult. Opportunities to get the ball back, but again, you know, Rod Marinelli preaches this. No, he had the right arm up. So I'm sorry, Mikel. He preaches everybody running to the football, and good things happen when you run it. Look at that. That ball was on the ground for a while until Major Wright got there.
A huge break for the Bears as Wright comes up with the recovery. 4th time the Bears start a drive from inside the Lions 25. And Cutler is taken down back at the 18-yard line. Kyle Vanden Bosch along with Ndamukong Suh.
Well, they've done it twice today, Tony. They've given up the ball on the 23 and the 24-yard line, and this defense has been able to hold them to field goals. Can they do it again here?
Well, I'll tell you what, that pocket collapsed immediately. Suh right in the middle. Nice job, Vanden Bosch, and a little bit of a twist on the outside. They've done a great job of responding to these turnovers in today's game.
Remember, the Bears held to 3 following 2 of the prior turnovers. Cutler to Bennett. Bennett out of bounds just shy of the 10.
You know, we've seen him be able to do it twice, Tony. They're trying to do it again here. But one of the things that I thought was really not talked about a lot about your 2000 Raven defense was your ability in sudden change. And you guys, a lot of times on turnovers, didn't even allow points. What's the mindset?
You know what? You just got to, you know, it's a sense of urgency. You got to go out there. You got to feel the pressure. You got to know that you guys got to play all together, and you got to play as best as you possibly can and not give them an inch.
4th down and 8. Cutler throws, end zone, Marshall, incomplete.
This is a good job at the start, understanding to funnel him to the sideline. Ron Bartell funnel him down hard to the sideline. That way, when you have to elevate to get the catch, it's going to be hard for you to complete the process because you're not going to be able to get both feet down. So a good job by Ron Bartell using that sideline as one of his teammates.
So here is Olindo Moreeeee. 28-yard attempt. He's 2 for 3 today. From the right hash, Conless places it down. And Moreee's kick is straight through, but for the 3rd time After a Detroit turnover, the Bears are held to 3 and not 7.
Hey, Steven.
Hey, man.
Think I could get that jersey?
No problem, Jason.
For real?
There you go. One brand new Steven Jackson jersey.
Oh. I meant the one you're wearing.
You don't want this.
Yeah.
It's sweaty.
Yeah. Aaron, can I have your hat?
I'm in the middle of an interview.
Well, I'm in the middle of stuff too, Aaron. I mean, maybe not at the moment, but later on, I got lots of stuff to do.
This game is not fast. This game is faster. Strong is no longer strong. Fast is the new strong. Lungs are jet engines. End zones are scorched. The pocket is collapsing faster. The field just got shorter. The slow lose their lunch. The tortoise never wins. And if you're not faster, someone will let you know.
Odd man rush. Jackson, lob to the cup, and it's by Adonis
Classic Friday, 7:30 Eastern, right here on Fox.
There's Sam Gash working
right
with
there.
Michael LaShore right there. And you know, at first, Tony, I thought he did have the inside arm the wrong way, but when we saw the replay, he didn't. And you know, I think it might have been more on the quarterback there.
Yeah, it looked like it was a high handoff. It hit him in the chest, and you know, Sam Gash, the running back coach there for Detroit, had an opportunity to play with him. I mean, you want to talk about a man on the field. That guy is a beast right there.
Yeah, but he knows the importance. Yeah, I mean, you just can't have him.
No, you can't have him.
It's been unbelievable today. You know, the Detroit Lions have put their defense in a really tough spot, yet they've been able to respond. I mean, great field position after these turnovers, but only 16 points.
Yeah, they've really responded. You're absolutely right, Bruce. I'll tell you, an opportunity for the Chicago Bears to really go and close this game out. They just can't do it because of Detroit's defense and the way that they're not giving up those big plays and only giving up 3 points on in an area where you should be getting 7s.
So the deficit is just 6 for the Lions as Stafford hits LaShore and Anthony Walters comes up, makes the tackle for a loss of 2.
He got outside his screen element. You know, your offensive linemen are the guys you need to have with you on these screen passes, and Michael LaShore got outside of that, and that allowed Anthony Walters to come up and make that tackle. So it's one of those things that you got to do time and time again to get comfortable and get that timing down. But the one thing you have to know is you can never get outside your offensive lineman on that screen.
2nd down and 12. We approach 1 minute remaining, 3rd quarter here in Detroit.
Squeeze!
Stafford to Johnson. Calvin Johnson out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 7. Now has 72 yards today, 36 shy of 2,000.
He's closing in, Darryl.
But
That's amazing.
You know, he's doing it the way Charles Tillman said. You know, listen, I have a lot of respect for him. If he does that, that's fantastic. But he is not getting an explosive play on me.
Charles
he's going to have to catch 20 balls.
Absolutely.
Longest reception today, that's 24 yards. 3rd down and 5. Stafford looking. Stafford throws, was deflected and nearly intercepted by Tillman.
Well, he's lucky this was deflected, because if he's going to throw this on time, it will be intercepted. I mean, it's great coverage, again, by Charles Tillman, and he's got Lance Briggs on the inside. I think if that ball's not deflected, Lance Briggs has got a pick 6.
Corey Wooten getting a piece of it.
You saw Matthew Stafford's eyes on that last replay that we did. You know, those defensive backs are looking to see where he's looking, and they all know that he's looking at one guy right now, and that's the man who can get 2,000, Calvin Johnson.
There was tremendous pressure on the punter, Harris, by J.T. Thomas. Only a 36-yard punt, and this will give the Bears terrific field position once again, although not as good as they've had following the turnover.
I still don't know how J.T. Thomas missed that block. He had a great move at the line of scrimmage to get free.
America's Game of the Week coming up. Many of you will see the Packers and the Vikings, as well as the 49ers and Cardinals, Seahawks and Rams battle for the NFC West, battle for the number 2 seed and the bye. Packers will have a week off. They beat Minnesota today. Butler on the slant, it's Marshall. Marshall out to the 48-yard line, gain of 9. That's his longest reception today as the third quarter comes to an end. We head to the fourth. Bears need a win to stay alive. Leading the Lions by 6.
Well, I think what he did last night, Tony, was really special.
He is your starting quarterback.
I know he didn't.
Kick me out the show.
Don't miss Around the Horn, weekdays on ESPN America.
Hey, Arian.
Hey, Charles.
New lucky hat. Never taking it off.
That's crazy, man.
Can't hear you. I'm in the shower.
Celebration begins. It's absolutely astonishing.
I born in New Jersey, in Patterson, but I went to Puerto Rico a year old. But I have family there and New York and New Jersey. I had a lot of struggle. I was up and down. When 07 I went to AA. I was almost out of the game, but I always work hard. I know it's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna continue work hard. And thanks God, we won the World Series in 2010. That was a bless.
For the first time since 1954, the Giants are world champions.
Right now, this year, I'm excited to be here in New York. My dad is a big Mets fan, always been, and I'm excited just to play with them and show my dad that, he's gonna be proud of me. And I think that's something special.
Bears had a 17-point lead late in the second quarter. Led by 10 at the half. It's now a 6-point game. Chicago needs a win and a Minnesota loss to Green Bay. And the Bears would head to the postseason. Second down and 1. As we start the fourth quarter, it's Forte. Forte across midfield into Lions territory. Picks up a Bears first down.
I thought I had a solution to that dilemma, Kenny. It would be hard for me to cheer for the Eagles or the Redskins in a situation that Chicago finds himself in where they would have to cheer for Green Bay. So I said, why don't you just cheer against Minnesota?
That's right.
That way you can still have that.
There you go.
That fuel of the rivalry. You don't have to be on the Packer bandwagon if you're a Bears fan.
Congratulate, don't hate.
Here's Forte. Definitely a bizarre world when the Bears have to root for the Packers and the Giants could potentially have to root for the Washington Redskins later tonight, depending on what happens in this game.
It's a tangled web we weave, Kenny.
Final day of the regular season in the National Football League. Bears a 7-3 start last year. Cutler injured. Bears lost 5 of the last 6, missed the playoffs. 7-1 start this year. Hope to win and they need some help. 2nd and 5. Bennett! What a catch by Earl Bennett. 27 yards.
Boy, he has really stepped up today. That is a nice catch because, again, tight coverage by Chris Houston, one-on-one at the top of the screen. Watch the footwork, back shoulder, both feet down. Well done.
Nice job keeping that left foot in. Wow.
Urbana with a couple of huge plays today. 60-yard touchdown back in the first quarter. From the 16, it's Forte. Gains 2.
Yeah, if you were to see the numbers that Brandon Marshall has today, you would think the Bears would be in trouble. I mean, look at this. 3 out of 9 for only 13 yards over there. But look what the other guys have done. Only twice this season has Brandon Marshall not led the team in receiving yards. And on the biggest game of the season for the Chicago Bears, Earl Bennett has stepped up. Alshon Jeffrey has stepped up. The running backs have done a nice job in the screen game.
Cutler on his last completion went over 3,000 yards for the season. 2nd down and 8. Cutler backpedaling, moving to his left. Now throws to the end zone. Kellen Davis tried to make the catch, and then Khalil Bell had a shot at it as well.
You know, they're really lucky that they got this ball off. Jay Cutler was audible and off, making some kind of a call outside, and the ball is snapped to him. Good thing he looks back to his left and catches that ball.
And Kellen Davis, he's such a physical specimen. He's got to be able to make that play. That is such a huge advantage for him with his height over Stephen Tulloch. He's got to be able to come down with that football.
Bears still in their huddle. Play clock is winding down. And Chicago forced to use a timeout.
That's the 3rd time this afternoon that they've had to use a timeout because of the communication in from the sideline to the huddle.
I couldn't agree with you more with Kellen Davis. That ball is totally catchable in the end zone. I mean, he's tall, he's big, he's strong. He's got to make that play.
And you know he's working at it, Tony. You know, the big thing is you know that after practice, before practice, he's catching footballs. I watched him before the game today catch a number of footballs. The one thing that I think that he has to overcome right now, he's worrying about dropping the football instead of expecting to catch the football. Yep. And that's a big transition in your thought process.
Yep.
Davis returning to his home state, attended Michigan State. Big opportunity in the end zone moments ago.
He should be a matchup nightmare in the red zone with Brandon Marshall on the outside and his size and his athletic ability from the tight end spot. Man, he's got to get it figured out. He'll be a huge asset for this offense.
3rd down and 8. Cutler from the shotgun. On 3rd down, he throws to Marshall, who picks up a 1st down. He lost his left cleat. But Marshall gains 10 and picks up a huge Bears 1st down.
That's what happens when you cut so hard on that turf. Watch Brandon Marshall up here at the top of your screen. Right after he catches the ball, boom. Tell you what, his feet are going so fast, Moose, that it came right out of his shoe.
4th catch today for Marshall, now has 117 on the season. 1st and goal from the 4. And Cutler has that pass batted back, and then he knocks it down. Smart play by Cutler. If he caught it, would have lost yardage. Willie Young with the initial bat back. There's Young.
That's scary when that ball pops up that high.
Yeah, Jay does a nice job with the volleyball spike right there. Good wind up, hits the ball good, gets it down on the ground, go to the next play. Your hands up front is so big.
2nd and goal. At 4-10. Brought down by Andre Fluellen at the 3-yard line.
Well, DeAndre Levy made a good play because it looked like they were going to have that edge sealed, and Matt Forte was going to be able to just kind of cruise into the end zone, but he fought through the block and turned him back to the inside.
Bears leading by 6. 3rd and goal from just inside the 3. 10th play of the drive for Chicago. Cutler looking end zone. He throws, and it's Chris Houston on the coverage. Pass intended for Marshall.
Yeah, they've really let him play on both sides of the ball. We've watched Charles Tillman and Calvin Johnson battle. Chris Houston and Brandon Marshall have battled. Coming from the outside. Again, we've seen this play a couple of times. That's good on both sides. Brandon Marshall's looking for a call, but he was pretty strong stiff arm there as he had his release as well.
So here's Olindo Mare once again. He's 3 for 4 today. This will be a 20-yard attempt from the left hash. Mare connects on the chip shot. And the Bears extend their lead to 9. Lions defense once again keeping Chicago out of the end zone.
What a day! Look at this!
Championship play right here, fellas.
It's football, baby. Let's make a play.
Takes the shotgun snap, throws it toward the end zone. It is caught.
I heard you calling from the start. A river runs through both our hearts. 1,000 shades of something new. I cannot wait to play for you. Land of dreams, land of dreams. Come and find your land of dreams.
Into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Wow. Oh, boy.
And what concentration. That's good in the NFL, too, my friend.
Ooh. Great awareness there, Frank.
Welcome to ESPN Player, your source for live and on-demand college sports. It's your sports, your teams, your rules. All live, all on demand, and all from $9.99. Sign up to ESPN Player now.
A look inside the Henry Ford Museum in nearby Dearborn. 11-play, 59-yard drive for the Bears, who now lead the Lions by 9. Chicago must win. They have a chance at a postseason berth. They would then need the Vikings to lose their game against the Green Bay Packers. That's coming up next on America's Game of the Week. Just under 11 minutes remaining. This rivalry dates all the way back to 1930.
College Game Day all season on ESPN America.
Ready to start it up?
Let's go.
Unnecessary roughness on number 52. Excuse me a minute.
Come on, man. This is Andy in the pass, punt, and kick. 13-year-old. Whoa, come on, man.
First down, Dallas.
He got it, but wait there. Who has it? Yeah, he went that away. Come on. This is supposed to be the post-game press conference. It's empty.
A monkey riding a dog.
Come on, man.
Steve Johnson wears an undershirt to the press. Come on, man. I mean, come on, man.
No, it's here. Very red.
I don't know why. People call him the Red Rifle.
The Red Rifle hooks up with A.J. Green.
It's red, man, but yeah, there's nothing he can do about that.
I would say a darker orange than it would be red.
And he got some weird hair, you know, he's just red, but it's not like bright red, it's like a burnt orange.
Orange does look good.
You know what I think about Andy Dalton's hair? It is so pretty.
It is so cool.
The Red Rifle.
It was made for Cincinnati because his hair color had almost matched our orange.
It looks good on him. It fits his personality.
It do look funny. It shows fire, his passion.
It's a nice little clean cut fade.
All this would be like white and pale, and then everything else would just be red.
Tuesday, January 8th.
DeLorean door.
On Fox.
Matt Forte getting his left ankle wrapped. With the Lions starting from their own 20. Trailing the Bears by 9. Stafford on first down. Complete to the tight end, Scheffler. For a gain of 8.
Been the complimentary guys this afternoon on both sides of the ball, stepping up, making some plays.
Well, I think the run game has really helped this offense, because that play action, those linebackers are really responding to that coming up, and it's giving them an extra second as the wide receivers and the tight ends go out for a route. So,
second down and 2. LaSure in the backfield, 3 receivers set. Side handoff to LaSure. There is a flag. Lance Briggs in on the tackle. Not many flags today. Bill Levy.
Holding, number 76 offense. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Left tackle Jeff Backus, penalty declined.
Yeah, a little bit of a blitz going on the outside. Here he is coming in from the right-hand side.
Took down the Pro Bowler Henry Melton. Giants now lead Philadelphia 42-7, under 7 minutes to play at the Meadowlands. Giants would stay alive for the moment, setting the outcome of this game. It's Scheffler once again for Lions first down.
A nice catch right there, aren't they?
It really was. It's on the back shoulder. That's a big play right there. And a little bit of confusion right now in some of the coverage for the Chicago Bears. Kelvin Hayden on that play looking for answers in the coverage. And, talking to Charles Tillman yesterday, it was interesting to see how their coverages are balanced when you talk about the Bears defense. Sometimes he's working with a linebacker, sometimes he's working in conjunction with a safety. So on that one there looked to be a little bit of confusion.
New set of downs for Detroit. 9 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Stafford's pass intended for Pettigrew.
And he's not 100%. He's not even close to 100% with that high ankle sprain. But Jim Schwartz said it would be important if we could get Brandon Pettigrew on the field just for the guys to see how important it is to go out there and compete. But you can watch here, he doesn't have a whole lot of push off of that bad leg. And Matthew wants him to get out quick. I just don't think he can run those routes right now. But Jim Schwartz was hoping that from an inspirational standpoint, that Brandon Pettigrew being out here today would kind of show his guys what it takes to be a professional.
He's their second leading receiver after Calvin Johnson. Second down at 10. And Stafford has that pass batted back by Lance Briggs.
So many times you see these linebackers walked up in the middle, Tony. A lot of times they're pulling out. This time he did.
Yeah. Lance Briggs does a nice job of getting his hands up, coming with the pressure right in Stafford's face right there.
Strange to see Pro Bowl rosters without Urlacher and Briggs on them. Bears will send 5. Urlacher's gone to the last 8 Pro Bowls, Briggs the last 7. Still very important cogs in this Bears defense. 3rd down and 10. Stafford moving to his right. Stafford now slides down at the 36. And there is a flag for a late hit. He was down about 6 yards shy of the marker.
Foul, necessary roughness. Number 55 of the defense going to the head of the sliding quarterback. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So instead of a Lions punt, it's a first down as Briggs is flagged.
And I know a lot of people, the Bears fans are going to be upset. He's declared himself out. You just can't go to the head. You got both of them. You're right, Tony. It was Lance Briggs and Calvin Hayden both going.
Only the second Bears penalty, but it's a big one. Keeps this drive alive with 8.5 to play. 9-point Chicago lead. From the Bears 49 on first down. Stafford throws, and the pass is caught by Brian Robisky. His first reception today. It's a 22-yard pass play.
And zone defense against one more time there, Darryl. Stafford does a nice job of a little bit of short pump, and then giving Robisky a little bit of time to go and get in that little bit of a zone area where it's wide open. Makes a nice throw.
Robisky's dad, wide receivers coach in Atlanta, Terry Robisky. He's the 10th different target that Stafford has connected with today.
Lucky.
From the Bears 28. Stafford over the middle, wide open for a first down and more. It's Will Heller takes it down to the Bears' 9-yard line.
This is such a nice decision by Matthew Stafford because you've got Calvin Johnson going down the middle of the field with an opportunity for the big play. Just the opportunity, but it's going to be Will Heller that leaks out late that gives you the nice, easy one. Look at, there's nobody around him right there. The temptation was there to take a shot towards the end zone with Calvin Johnson in a one-on-one situation, but that was a nice decision to drop it down for an easy play.
First and goal from the Bears 9. This drive kept alive by the Briggs penalty. Stafford on first down to the end zone. There is a flag. It's a catch and a touchdown. Brian Robisky.
Touchdown is ruled. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Helmet-to-helmet hit, number 21. Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Again, this is the defenseless player categorization. Going to be Brian Robisky. He's got to be able to catch, plant, and make a move to defend himself, a move common to the game. You can see Major Wright come in. It really puts safeties in a dilemma. It's really opened up the middle of the field for offenses to be able to attack because you've always got the potential of that 15-yard penalty now is part of the mix.
It'll be assessed on the kickoff. Hansen pulls the Lions to within 2. Stafford, third touchdown pass today.
Game day all season on ESPN America.
Fans all the time come up and ask about fantasy football.
Hey, you're on my team, but you're not starting for me.
Hey, I picked you, so hey, let's have a good year. I'm a Bengals fan now.
One of the fans comes up in the other jersey and says thanks for throwing 3 touchdowns.
Throw for like 297 yards. Hey, what happened to that extra 3 yards?
Celebration begins.
It's absolutely astonishing.
See ya! A long home run off the bat of Robinson Cano.
I had a name because of Jackie, my dad. He admired Jackie Robinson the way he came up to the big leagues, all the situation he went through, and then he told my mom, I want to put my son that name. She didn't want that name. He ended up convincing my mom, and but I would say it's a good thing, He was a second base, I'm a second base. He wore 42, I wore 24. I mean, there's a lot of things like, I like to help people. He do the same thing, and I mean, it's really weird. So for me, it's more than an honor that got his name. He was the one that opened the doors for us. How good is the game now? So you got people from all over the world.
2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Detroit. Bears led by 17. It's now a 2-point game as the Lions drive 80 yards the third time in their last 5 possessions.
Jason Hansen's like 17 yards away from the ball right now.
Kicking off from midfield following that personal foul. Brian Rafisky, his first touchdown in 2 seasons, pulling the Lions to within 2.
Gentlemen, this is a new season, and for your sake, you should be thankful. Fowler, Corso, Herb Street.
They're calling you out.
It's like days of our lives. Who cares that they lost to Washington? Watch out. Some of those thoughts and opinions last year wouldn't cut it in my camp. You can do better than that, boys. This is time for some revenge. My picks would run circles around you.
I'm going to go with Cal.
Hook 'em hard.
I like the Cornhuskers.
Roll Tide.
I'm going to go with Wisconsin.
Southern California. What were you thinking? Oh.
Hey, Steven.
Hey, man.
Think I can get that jersey?
No problem, Jason.
For real?
There you go. One brand new Steven Jackson jersey.
Oh. I meant the one you're wearing.
You don't want this.
Yeah.
It's sweaty.
Yeah. Aaron, can I have your hat?
I'm in the middle of an interview.
Well, I'm in the middle of stuff too, Aaron. I mean, maybe not at the moment, but later on, I got lots of stuff to do.
If you're the home team, it's great. I think it's easier on you. You know, it's easier on your players. I think traveling is tough.
Think about what you've done to get here. The pain, the hours, the rep. We deserve it.
It's a short week. You obviously play the previous Sunday, and before you know it, you're into your game preparation about 12 hours later.
Hey, just keep going now. Just keep going, guys.
It's more mental than physical. You know, you can't get a lot of physical work done in preparation for a Thursday game.
Let's go put an exclamation point on our work.
I think that's the biggest thing, is knowing what the week is going to hold for you, because the game gets on you quick.
Back in Detroit, just under 7 minutes remaining. 2-point lead for the Chicago Bears, who need a victory to stay alive. They led by as many as 17 late in the second quarter. Bears start from their own 20-yard line as Cutler throws, and it's Brandon Marshall who makes the catch out of the 39 for a gain of 19.
Again, we showed you a graphic on Jay Cutler early in the game, how he gets better and better, and his best numbers are here in the fourth quarter, and on a very critical drive, the opening play. There's that chemistry between he and Brandon Marshall that has not been there all afternoon.
5th catch for Marshall. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. As Cutler hands it off to Forte, and he gains 3 out to the 44. America's Game of the Week coming up. Many of you will see the Packers and the Vikings. If the Bears win, they need a Vikings loss. Vikings hosting Green Bay. Some of you will see an NFC West matchup. Niners and the Cardinals, Seahawks, and the Rams with division crown at stake. Number 2 seed up in the air of the NFC as well. On 2nd and 5, it's Forte once again. Ball comes loose, and the Bears able to recover. And then Vanden Bosch gets involved at the end of the play with Roberto Garza.
I'm just shocked that we're at the position we're at right now. If you were to tell me, hey, we're going to be, halfway through the fourth quarter, Calvin Johnson's going to have less than 80 yards. The Bears are going to have a +4 turnover ratio. What do you think the score is going to be? I would never have thought it would be inside a field goal.
Lions defense has come up big, holding the Bears to field goals and not touchdowns. 3rd down and 4. Bears must get to the 49 as Cutler floats it up for Marshall. He did not make the catch in bounds. So with 4:47 remaining, the Bears will punt it back to the Lions.
You're talking about 3rd and 4, and we're going to end up throwing a go route. And we've seen the play that's been effective for the Bears, whether it was the red zone or in the field, has been that slant to Brandon Marshall in these situations. That's just a tough throw and catch for any quarterback receiver combo to make.
Bodlish punting from his own 35. Moving to his left, it's Thomas. Fair catch. Back at the 10-yard line.
You know, with all those turnovers, Dow, we talked about the Lions' defense and how they kept their team in this game. But, you know, let's look at Chicago's offense. I mean, talk about opportunities that they haven't capitalized. Jimmy talked about it during the halftime break, but, you know, this team's going into the playoffs. When, you know, you look at this team right now, they are not dominant at all and haven't capitalized on any kind of turnover. Opportunity-wise, I don't see it. I don't see what they can possibly do in the postseason if they do get in.
Yeah, I think they're playing so guarded because of the situation with their offensive line that, you know, it really impacts what they can call from a play standpoint offensively.
It seems like they have no confidence offensively in anything that they do.
All right, here we go. Lions start from the 9, trailing by 2. Stafford, a sidearm fling, is behind Calvin Johnson.
But here's the thing about this team, Tony. This is the group that's on the field right now that drives this team. And that's the way it's been in Chicago for as long as I can remember. You know, and you go back and you think about the teams that were in the championship games last year. And Lovie Smith talked to us about this yesterday. 2 of those 4 teams, San Francisco and Baltimore, built very similar to how Chicago functions. So they keep it close, they don't make mistakes, and they rely on this defense to close people out.
Second and 10 from the 9-yard line. Stafford over the middle. Catch is made by Scheffler. Roach the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
4 yards on the play. 3rd down and 6.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the Giants and the Eagles. Giants stay alive, but they need a Lions win over the Bears. It's a 2-point game. Bears led by 17 late in the second quarter. Lions have come roaring back. Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa from Ford Field in Detroit. 3rd down and 6, and Tim Jennings makes a huge defensive play for the Bears, breaking up that pass that was intended for Chris Durham.
Tim Jennings, number 26, working at the bottom of your screen.
Nice job by him. He's just right on the receiver, waits for his opportunity, waits for the ball to get there, doesn't touch him, knocks the ball right out.
Harris punting from his own 2-yard line. After the Lions went 3 and out, this is Devin Hester. Hester forced out of bounds at the 41, so good field position for Chicago. Bears leading by 2 with 3:40 remaining. Next Sunday, Fox Sports brings you an NFC wildcard matchup between 2 of the league's best teams to find out which one will advance and keep their championship dreams alive. Our coverage begins next Sunday. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. Jay Cutler and the Bears led 20-3 late in the second quarter. Lions have turned the ball over 4 times today, but Detroit with 3 80-yard touchdown drives to get back into this game.
Yeah, one right at the end of the first half, one to start the second half, the first possession of the second half. And Chicago just has not taken advantage of their opportunities today.
Bears start from the 40-yard line. The toss to Matt Forte, and he's able to gain 4 out to the 44. Cliff Averill made the tackle, and now the Lions use their first timeout with 3:35 remaining. Time for a game break to Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Well, a reminder that when you guys are done, America's Game of the Week has huge playoff implications. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers can wrap up the number 2 seed in the NFC. Adrian Peterson and the Vikings can get into the playoffs. And by the way, Peterson could also set the single-season rushing mark. It's America's Game of the Week, the Packers and the Vikings. When you guys are done there in Detroit. Kenny Moose and Moose.
Craig Kurt, Adrian Peterson 208 yards away from breaking Eric Dickerson's record. If you've heard the playoff scenarios once today, you've heard them 100 times. Bears need a win and a Vikings loss. If the Bears win this game, it will eliminate the defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants, as Forte is out across the 47-yard line, and the Lions will use their second timeout, stopping the clock with 3.5 to play.
And when we've talked to Mike Tyson, we've talked to Lovie Smith during the course of the year, if this is the way that the Chicago Bears are built, then this is a situation that has to be a part of those elements. They've got to be able to take the ball in this scenario and grind this clock out, take time off of it, make Detroit burn all their timeouts. If they do give the ball back to them, backed up into their end of the field with no timeouts left, we're going to get to see it right here on this snap. This is that 4-minute situation that you hear a lot of coaches talk about.
3rd down and 3 for Chicago. Now Cutler pulls out, and he will use a timeout. So both teams with 1 timeout remaining. Lions brought back into this game by Matthew Stafford. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes.
And this one is right at the end of the first half. They finally get it down to 20-10, and then they come out in the 3rd quarter, their first possession. They get to Will Heller, and then Brian Robisky on the last possession.
Lions turned it over 4 times. Bears scored 1 touchdown, held to field goal 3 times following the turnovers. Chicago led by 17. And Calvin Johnson, in pursuit of 2,000 yards receiving this season, is 36 shy. 3rd down and 3. Bears must get to midfield for a first down. And Cutler will take off, picks up a first down and more. Jay Cutler slides down at the Lions 34. Cutler needed 3, and he gains 19.
He competes, huh, Darryl?
Yeah.
He's tough, he competes. I'll tell you what, I like the play selection on that. You put it in his hands, put all the big guys in there, make them think run, so you have everybody inside, send your receivers out, then let your offensive line go and block them guys up a little bit, give Jay opportunity to throw the ball downfield or run for the first down. Looks like Brian Urlacher's happy about that call also.
Urlacher missing his 4th consecutive game. So Cutler gains 19 on a Bears first down. From the Detroit 34, it is Forte. And now the Lions will use their 3rd and final timeout with 2:38 remaining. And the Bears leading the Detroit Lions by 2. Lovie Smith's Bears started this season 7-1, just 2 wins over their last 7 games, but now on the move following that huge Cutler run.
Yeah, but the big question is, if they hang on and they win this game, and then Green Bay wins and they get into the playoffs, what are they going to do? And I think that Jimmy Johnson makes a great point at the halftime show is, I don't see these guys going anywhere in the playoffs. And it's all because of the offensive line. I really think that has handcuffed Mike Tice. It's handcuffed what they want to do offensively. I don't think they have an identity. We see them week in and week out doing different things. And I think that has been the challenge. I think that will be kind of the fatal flaw to this team when this season ends. It's been a big challenge with that offensive line, and I just don't think they've been able to figure out how to make it work.
We welcome another new audience. Bears leading the Lions by 2 as Forte stays on his feet and has a Bears first down. Takes it to the Lions' 20-yard line as Forte picks up 13.
But we're seeing the key guys step out on a huge drive. We challenge Chicago in this situation. If this is how you're built, then you've got to take care of business right here. It was Jay Cutler on the big 3rd down. Look at the effort by Matt Forte right here. But we don't see it enough. And we talked about it today at the top, Kenny. This is, in the last 7 weeks, this is the 6th different starting offensive line group.
We hit the 2-minute warning. Lions no timeouts. Bears will be able to run out the clock.
Hey, Arian.
Hey, Charles.
New lucky hat. Never taking it off.
That's crazy, man.
Can't hear you. I'm in the shower.
This game is not fast. This game is faster. Strong is no longer strong. Fast is the new strong. Lungs are jet engines. End zones are scorched. The pocket is collapsing faster. The field just got shorter. The slow lose their lunch. The tortoise never wins. And if you're not faster, someone will let you know.
Warren Moon back to pass, sets up, throws down the middle of the goal line, touchdown.
He wants to go deep. He's firing it deep.
Moon goes deep, has a man, hits him. I never look behind. I always look forward.
60,000 yards for Warren Moon.
My body said keep playing. My heart said keep playing. So I kept playing.
Back in Detroit, we welcome those of you who have been watching Tampa Bay and Atlanta. The Bears begin to celebrate with 2 minutes remaining because the Lions are out of timeouts. Chicago will be able to run the clock all the way down to 0 as Cutler takes a knee.
And now they've done their part this afternoon. They came out and they won. And again, there's not a lot of style. There's no style points in the NFL, and that's a good thing for Chicago because they have perfected winning in a tough way. So. Now they've got to have help. Now they've got to sit around. They've got to wait and see if the Green Bay Packers can knock off the Minnesota Vikings.
Coming up, the Lowe's Game Break Show, and then America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the game that Lovie Smith will have foremost on his mind. The Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Lions have already used all 3 of their timeouts, so they cannot stop the clock. Cutler takes another knee. So the Chicago Bears will win for the 10th time this season and remain alive in their playoff pursuit. And a Bears win, of course, as we've been mentioning all afternoon long, will eliminate the defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants, who did win their game 42-7 over the Eagles, but they needed 3 other results, including a Chicago loss. Matthew Stafford, valiant comeback, 3 touchdown passes, but the Bears turn the ball over. The Lions turn the ball over 4 times as Cutler takes one final knee. Bears remain alive and will now take out their Green Bay Packers pom-poms.
No, cheer against the Minnesota Vikings. You can't cheer for the Packers.
So the Chicago Bears hang on, defeat the Detroit Lions by the score of 26-24. The Lions' disappointing season comes to an end with their 8th consecutive loss.
And that's a tough one. I mean, you're going into the offseason on an 8-game losing streak. There were high expectations for Detroit. It's going to be a challenging offseason for the Lions.
Bears go to 10-6. They stay alive and now must root for Green Bay to beat Minnesota. For Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Kenny Albert saying so long. Now to Kurt Menefee and the gang in L.A.
Welcome to the Lowe's Game Break.
And welcome to the Lowe's Game Break Show. Kurt Menefee along with Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. So with the win, the Bears stay alive as far as the playoff possibilities go. All they need is for Minnesota to lose to Green Bay. That game comes up in just a minute. But more importantly, Michael, that means that the defending Super Bowl champion Giants are officially eliminated.
Done. Done, Kurt. And can't be mad at anybody but themselves, because if they had played with the passion that they played today, then I don't think they'd be in the situation they were in. They probably would win the NFC East, automatically be in the playoffs. But the Giants just have not been consistent at all. caught up to them at the end. But they did their part today. They won the game, but all for nothing.
Well, here's how they won it today, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, and what most likely was the last game for Andy Reid as Eagles head coach.
Michael Vick, lots saying whether or not he'll be back with Philadelphia. Andy Reid, we're pretty certain will not. Vick up, looking for Selleck, his tight end. Ball slips out of his hand, goes too high, picked off by Stevie Brown. Stevie Brown's 8th interception on the year. Very consistent performer for the Giants. Eli Manning to Ruben Randle, man-to-man coverage. Great leaping ability by this 6'3" wide receiver. 14-0. Ruben Randle, 2 touchdowns early in the first quarter. Then Manning back again, firing deep down the left side. There he is, Cruz, 24-yard touchdown. 4th touchdown pass of the first half for Eli. 42-7. Giants all over 50, all over the Eagles. Manning with 5 touchdowns, a career high.
Too little, too late, as you said, because the Bears took care of business at Detroit.
They certainly did, Matt Forte. There's old Coach Lovie Smith. Got a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Wide flare out as Cutler finds Earl Bennett. Boy, what a great job blocking. Marshall, not a big day receiving, but a great job blocking downfield. Bennett goes for 60-yard, longest touchdown on the year for the Bears. 7-3 Bears. Then Stafford gets going in the second half. He finds Brian Robisky on a little quick post route, 9-yard touchdown, 26-24. Then out of the eye, play action, man coverage. When you have man coverage, you hear announcers say this all the time. No one is accounted for the quarterback. In other words, no one's responsible for him. Brian Urlacher watching, looking on. Big day for Cutler as they take care of the Lions, 26-24. Chicago, like I said, playoff hope still alive, depending on what happens with Minnesota and Green Bay. Ravens at the Bengals. Andy Dalton, a little hitch route down 10 yards, looks to the inside. Marvin Jones takes it in from there, 11-yard touchdown. We're tied up at 7-all. Tyrod Taylor out of the single back set, opens up, looks right, turns on the speed, 1-yard touchdown run. Now the Ravens, Flacco was taken out of this game. Ray Rice was taken out of this game in the first quarter. Ravens up by 1. And then Tyrod Taylor picked off by Carlos Dunlap, turns it 14 yards for the touchdown, 23-14. It is 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter with the Bengals on top of the Baltimore Ravens. Houston Texans at the Colts. Chuck Pagano. Welcome back, Chuck. Fighting leukemia in remission. Good to have him back on the sidelines. Arian Foster gets good blocking and runs in him from 13 yards out. Foster pays respect to Chuck. Oh, there you go. Chuck Strong hits the sign. 14-13. Colts up by 1 point over Houston. Texans kick off and then deep. Deji Kareem returns it. Look at this, Howie. 101 yards. I'd be looking for an oxygen tent about right now. 21-16. Colts on top of the visiting Houston Texans. And then Andrew Luck to T.Y. Hilton. This Hilton kid can flat out play. 70-yard touchdown. Chuck Pagano gets a hug from Gary Kubiak, of Texans head coach at the end of the ballgame. 28-16. As the Colts beat the Texans. The Texans now in jeopardy of losing that home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the AFC.
This one, no playoff implications, but just some fun stuff. Jacksonville at Tennessee. And get this, Tennessee scored 28 points in less than 5 minutes without running a single offensive play. Zach Brown, 2 interception returns for touchdowns, and Darius Renault, 2 punt returns for touchdowns.
Amazing.
38-20. Once again, 4 touchdowns in 5 minutes without a single play on offense. All right, elsewhere. In the game that many of you just saw wrap up, the Falcons finished the season 13-3. They lose to Tampa Bay. Carolina, big win right now. 5 minutes left at New Orleans. They're up by 10. The Steelers finish at 8-8. The Jets, season ends dismally, 6-10. They get blown out by Buffalo, 28-9, the final there. All right, here's a look at the playoff picture up to date. As of now, because of the Houston loss, Denver currently holds their own destiny. If they win, they will be the #1 seed in the AFC. New England can still move up to that #2 slot as well if they can knock off the Miami Dolphins later on today. That would drop Houston all the way down to #3. Meanwhile, in the NFC, the Falcons, home field already wrapped up for them. What's important? Green Bay, if they knock off Minnesota, they will be the #2 seed. If Minnesota wins that game, the Vikings will wind up as the 6th and final seed in the NFC playoffs. Should Green Bay wins, not only is Green Bay #2, but the Chicago Bears will make it into the playoffs. And first things first, Jimmy, the Bears did what they had to do going into Detroit. It wasn't pretty, but they got the win.
Yeah, of course, Chicago's hoping that Minnesota's going to lose this ball game, so that they can get into the playoffs. But I'm concerned about Chicago. They don't protect the passer very well. They were very sporadic as far as throwing the football. Brandon Marshall dropped some passes. They were, just a hit and miss against a real poor Detroit team. They do play pretty solid defense, and so that can help them. But I don't see them going very far in the playoffs.
What I'm most interested in, I wish I could be in Chicago to watch the fans cheer for the Packers. Yeah,
right.
That would be cool. That'd be fun.
Well, I mean, you can get on a plane. How bad you want to go to Chicago?
Not that bad, too big. Hey, send me some pictures on Twitter or something.
You know what, though, Terry? He would look good with a cheese head, wouldn't he?
He would.
Would you ever wear that?
Bears fans wearing cheese heads right now. A lot of Bears fans wearing cheese heads right now because they, as you said, need Green Bay to knock off Minnesota so they clinch a playoff spot. We'll hear from Jay Cutler in just a bit, but how are your impressions of the Bears?
We asked this question in the pregame. Out of the teams that we're talking about as a possibility to get into the playoffs, Dallas, the New York Giants, Minnesota even, Seattle for sure, Washington for sure, Green Bay, San Francisco, Atlanta. The old adage of you get into the playoffs and anything can happen. Wild card, divisional, championship game, and then the Super Bowl. At the most, you win 3 games to get to the Super Bowl. I just don't think that applies to the Bears. To echo what Jimmy had said, I have concerns about their protection. It seems to be a one-dimensional kind of passing attack. Is Forte healthy? The secondary looked a little sloppy today at times. Detroit certainly put some points up on the board quickly at times and stood up at the end of the game and played well and secured the win.
But Forte still got over 100. Cutler threw for over 250. And this is a team that has scored, 9 defensive touchdowns? Yeah. One shy of the NFL record.
8. And a lot of times,
8, yeah.
But in the playoffs, a lot of these teams protect the ball a lot better than Detroit Lions did today.
I'll tell you what, the Bears got the win. Right now, their fingers are crossed. The Minnesota Vikings, they control their own fate. They're playing Green Bay in a game coming up on Fox very shortly. And if Minnesota gets the win, they're in the playoffs. That's all they've got to do. Adrian Peterson and company right now controlling their own destiny. Peterson also thinking about the NFL rushing record, but he's already said it's more important to get into the playoff than to get the rushing mark. Meanwhile, Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers already in the postseason. It's just a matter of whether they will be seated number 2 or 3 or 5. We'll find out if they stumble against Arizona. And if they do, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks ready to take advantage. They take on the Rams. They still have a shot at that number 2 seed as well, even though they're already in the playoffs.
Johnson versus Johnson for the world title. Live and free. Fox UFC Saturday.